this is one of the most common complaints I get from women, which is, why is it that he likes me but doesn't commit? And to be honest with you, this is becoming an epidemic, for the simple fact that men are becoming more isolated. Men don't know how to deal with women. They're becoming bitter. And what happens when men become bitter is that they start to objectify women. They only begin to see women from a physical point of view because they have no connection to themselves. And so we're going to talk about why that is, and what are some solutions that we could come up with. And this is something this is the truth, man. This is, our parents didn't have this type of problem before. Men nowadays are so bitter that they prefer to interact with women online. And we all know a lot of them are chats, right? And so when they deal with an actual woman, they're not accustomed to the anxieties of getting to know someone intimately. So they might like you, but because they're not used to being with other people, they're not used to being in a relationship that's back and forth rather than me, which is what OnlyFans give. It's a little foreign to them, and they might even pull away and not know why. Well, because they don't know themselves. They're not in contact with how they're built, with their psychology. They've been so traumatized, and they feel so isolated from life that they don't have the RAM to be able to introspect and see why that really is. But verbally, they'll tell you that they want to, but their actions don't show you. And what that causes, and what that is a split of their personality. And it's usually caused by trauma. So let's talk about this. And by the way, if you guys want to check out my t-shirts, people, we have a t-shirt store made by my own painters. Oh my God, Brother Alex is rubbing his chest. You guys can. And all of these drawings are done by me and put on a t-shirt. Look at this judgmental dog. You're trying to tell me that you don't want Father Alex's judgmental dog on a t-shirt? Come on, man. So you can purchase that now by clicking in the description down below. And if you guys want something for free, because it was my birthday, I have a free audiobook and ebook that I made, not an AI. So you guys can get that for free as well. My gift for you guys, because my birthday was yesterday actually. So I'm older now, people. And thank you very much for everyone who remembered my birthday. And yeah, man. And if you guys, my gift for you guys for my birthday is that free gift, the audiobook that I have for you guys. Yeah, and if you guys want to help the channel out, you guys, I think this is my Cash App. Let me write it down here, because I usually don't do Cash App. I'll put it at the end of the video, okay? All right, so let's begin. So the first thing is this, okay, is that if he loves you but doesn't respect you, right? He loves you but doesn't respect you. Usually when a man loves you but doesn't respect you, it's because he doesn't see you as wifey material. He may have met you in a very interesting situation. He may have seen your photos. And the thing is this, is that sometimes we don't know that we have red flags. A lot of the times you don't know you have red flags because you might see it as normal, or you might see it as expressing myself, or living my best life, or living the glamorous life. Ladies, understand this. I understand that for you, that lifestyle is more comfortable, but the associations behind the glamorous or even women, and again, I'm being judgmental because that's how men think, or even something like, for example, me before, if I saw a woman if I met them on Instagram and she posts a lot of photos of her body, before I wouldn't see that as a red flag, because I don't know, like, she's hot. Now that I'm a little bit older, I'm like, I don't know if I want her, because she's posting herself online all the time. A lot of dudes are gonna message her, and yeah, I trust her, but sometimes you can meet a certain guy that you might like so much that you might leave me for that guy, right? That's how I think of it now. And so the reason I say this, because it's interesting how red flags change as you get older. Sometimes when we are naive, we don't realize that what we call being ourselves, or I don't care what people think, a lot of the times it's because those are red flags and we don't acknowledge it ourselves, right? But what happens is that the guys see you and they judge you for it. You may not think that maybe Like for example, if a guy meets you, if you're a girl that works at a club and you're one of those bottle girls, right? You might think it's fine, and look, people, I don't care. But to a guy that wants something serious, and you got to understand their point of view matters in this situation. He'll see you and say, I don't know, man. She's in a job that gets a lot of attention for her body. Like that's how a serious guy might think. And I'm like, I don't know, man. This may not be for me, right? And you might not know why, but to most guys, they're like, of course, it's because like look at her lifestyle, right? So you gotta realize that the world doesn't revolve around you, and some things that you might not consider a red flag to guys, it is. For example, if a woman, again, I always say this, if a guy sees you in Dubai, for example, or sees different stories on your chat on your Instagram with a bunch of different and like crazy amount of countries, guys are gonna see that as a red flag. And you might see that as fun, adventure. So you miss out on how other people are perceiving you because you're only viewing it from your point of view. That's, for example, when I smoke weed, when I stopped smoking, I started again, I stopped smoking again. I can see how I remember one time I met this girl in Mexico and we chatted, and I remember she didn't smoke, she didn't eat, she didn't drink. And I was like, hey, you want to smoke? She's like, no, I don't smoke. And she was like, how many blunts do you smoke a day? And I was like, oh, like 7. I didn't see that as a big deal, to be honest with you. And then I cooked her some Spam, right? She was like, you eat Spam? And I'm like, yeah, it got some sodium. She's like, but I only eat it once a week. And she was like, I wouldn't eat that not even once a month. That's unhealthy. And then when the date ended, she never called me back. Mind you, on paper, she found me really attractive, right? Because she told me that, right? And again, I'm a talented, I'm talented, but yeah, I try, you know what I'm saying? Like I could do things. But she never called me back. Thinking back, it was because those things that I saw as normal, because of my environment, she saw that as red flags. And because of this, a split. When you only see the world from your point of view, because of maybe people talk, for example, if we smoke weed and everyone says weed smokers are bad, I'm gonna get defensive and say, nah, fuck these people, man. They just don't know how to live life. Pass me the blunt, right? My defensiveness to your judgment of me will cause me to create psychological barriers and psychological blind spots to the red flags that other people see in me. And so this one, a lot of women who are empowered, a lot of women who are boss bitches, nothing wrong with that. What you don't understand is that a guy sees that from a different point of view. And so it's really understanding how other people perceive you, and being humble enough to see yourself from another point of view that might not be like attractive in your own eyes, because a lot of the times you just have to accept that some parts in you are toxic, right? But sometimes we get attacked by others because of our uniqueness, that we get defensive because of their attacks. But then that defensiveness stays there and it doesn't go away. And those blind spots get created, So yeah, he loves you but doesn't respect you because you just have way too many red flags and you don't see it yourself. That happens a lot of times, right? The next one is he's afraid of commitment. I mean, look, to this one, I like legit. There'll be girls who do OnlyFans, and if a guy doesn't like her, she'll be like, "What the fuck happened?" Like she would. Some women really, like, I just don't understand what guys don't respect me. New fan added. Oh, okay. I just don't understand what guys treat me like a piece of shit. And then the signs are obvious to everyone else but herself. Right? And so what that really is the denial. And that's very dangerous, actually. That's how you let addictions in. That's how you let compulsive behavior in. And if you're in that type of denial, I would advise you, learn to look at yourself in the mirror and maybe entertain another point of view about yourself. So he's afraid of commitment. The signs are always there when somebody's afraid of commitment. They never stick to something. They go and you'll see it. It's really just a bouncing around, right? From relationship to relationship, friendship to from friendship. They can't hold a friendship. They can't live in one's place for a long time. They struggle with long contracts. They never had a history of relationships. The signs are all, and usually those are the guys that are adventurous. Those are the guys that are mysterious, interesting, artistic, athletes. Those are the NBA players that travel around. But sometimes your low self-esteem will see that as a challenge rather than a reality. This person is not committal. Oh, really? I'm that bitch. Let's find out. Rather than, oh, he's not committal. He's a human being that's difficult to change, and I don't have the magic poom poom to change him. She did not have the magic poom poom to change Diego Rivera. Neither do you. And that's usually a narcissistic, and not narcissistic in general, but grandiosity because of your own insecurities about yourself and your self-worth. You develop fake beliefs as a band-aid to suppress those negative thoughts. Almost like an affirmation you don't believe, but you say it to yourself and your ego believes it, but not your soul, right? And so this denial is really the main reason why we see red flags and we just ignore it. That's just the truth. So the signs are always there. You just saw the red flag as a challenge to change them. That's impossible. You can't change people. By the way, people, don't forget, use the coupon code LABOR, like child labor. People, I don't mean like child slavery. I mean like giving birth to a baby, child labor. Like people thought I was talking about slavery. It's crazy. Use the coupon code to get 60% off all of my courses because it's my birthday. You guys can do that. So another sign that he loves you but doesn't commit is that his father didn't commit. You can see the signs. His father didn't commit, or he lived with his mom, and so his mom was never in a stable relationships. A lot of the times, non-committalness, you see it in their behavior. There's a history of no commitment as well. So another reason, and this is another one, and this is pretty obvious, secretly has another woman, married, and usually it's because a lot of the times people just don't value other people that much. That's just the truth. Humans are very ungrateful creatures, and we just don't value each other as much as we should. And usually that happens because you learned that from your parents, right? You treat others by observing how your parents treated them, or by doing the opposite of what your parents did, right? But this was pretty big because especially with online, more men nowadays cheat more than before. And it's easier to cheat. So this is a big one. And this happened in Mexico here, where I was dating this girl, and man, she had a boyfriend. I did not know that. That's my fault, to be honest with you. I saw the red flags. She moved around a lot. She was a free spirit. People, these free spirits or I'm open-minded. A lot of the times that's a lack. That's someone who just can't focus on one thing. Like we romanticize red flags. That's the issue. That's the problem that we have as humans. Is that red flags to the youth is good, but perspective shows you that a lot of the times what makes somebody adventurous, unique, interesting is really the same thing that makes them unbearable to live with long enough. Anyways, let me know what you look. When you're in this situation, honestly, it's not about changing them. It's really being honest with yourself. It's observing your flaws, observing your defensiveness, and just it comes down to you analyzing yourself, man. This is not something that you could just flip the finger and snap out of the delusion, because a lot of the time, most likely you are in that delusion. I was in that delusion. I'm saying a lot of things. Don't you guys notice that, a lot of the things that I say kind of go against what I used to say before. I used to not mind if a woman dressed a certain way. Well, because I wanted a woman that was hot, and I didn't care about, but now I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. I mean, that's how you get played, bro. Like you were literally attracting the worst of the worst because of your values, because of your superficial value. And for women, it's the same, but it doesn't look the same. For women, it's not much about sex, but more about the addiction for security, financial security, right? And a lot of the time, oh man. Anyways, man, let's not even go there, man. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I think that's it, man. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Get the free gift, people. I'm gonna send today an email to the email list. I'm gonna give you guys a little lesson. You know, if you guys like my writing that I post on my main page, I mean on my community post, check out my email list. I do send you guys those types of emails, okay? So they're very insightful, at least in my point of view. And you guys have been buying my t-shirts and everything. Thank you so much for supporting me as an artist. I really do appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Are you needy and creepy? Do you have a tough time coming across confident when you like the person? A lot of the times you just don't know what to do. You have habits and patterns that whenever somebody triggers you, you completely forget what to do the right thing. Well, guess what? I have a course for that. And it's called The Psychological Game of Attraction, Natural Chemistry, and The Feminine Woman, what I call the fundamentals. All of those courses are meant to eradicate and exercise the needy, creepy parts in you through action. Meaning, you do what the videos say, and without a shadow of a doubt, you actually get the results. You'll notice that men call you back more. Men will want more relationships with you. They're gonna be the ones that are needy and creepy. They're gonna be the ones that want something. They're gonna be the ones that are the aggressors in trying to get a relationship out of you. But the problem is that a lot of people just watch one or two videos and completely forget that there's actually a system. Don't just watch one or two videos. Get the system either by purchasing all of them and get a discount, or purchase them individually. Because a lot of the times, just watching one video in isolation, you actually miss the big picture. You have to understand why it works. You have to understand what to do next. And a lot of times, my videos just can't address that. A lot of people, you see by the testimonies right here, a lot of people have done what those videos say, and they've gotten results. Like the other day, I was in Mexico, and they were like, "Hey, Alexis," and I'm like, "Hey, oh my God, your videos are so great." And I'm like, and she was like, "Look at my kid." I'm like, what you talk about your kid? That's not my kid. She's like, no, because of him, because of your videos, he's here. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's a thing. But I get that a lot. And ironically, that woman watches all of my videos, right? So purchase those courses, man. And if you don't like it, you actually could get a 30-day money-back guarantee, right? Purchase them individually, or get a discount and purchase them all by clicking on the description down below. You have the option of purchasing the one with the bonuses that obviously it's more material, where it's like I give you guys meditations. There's also other courses on how to make friends, how to master anything, or you can purchase it without the bundle, which is much more affordable, all right? And with that, you guys are able to support my channel, which will allow me to make more videos, okay? Anyways, see you guys inside, and thank you.